Hi, my name is Peter Carrillo, and I'm the director of the Prevention and Community Engagement Team for Liberty House. Liberty House is the Children's Advocacy Center serving Marion and Polk counties. We serve children who are referred to us for concerns of abuse, neglect, and other forms of severe childhood trauma. So we're going to talk about some difficult material today, but we're also going to give you a tour of our facility and let you know all about the hope and the healing that we're able to provide for kids in our community.
Liberty House Children's Advocacy Center looks like what it is, a safe, child-friendly environment for investigating suspected child abuse, neglect, and trauma. Why is it one of the top-rated such centers in the nation? What goes on here that finds the facts, treats, and truly heals victims and prevents further harm?
Liberty House is one of 24 Children's Advocacy Centers, or CACs, in the state of Oregon, and over 960 across the United States.
There is a pretty severe problem with child abuse and neglect around here. Marion and Polk counties, between both of them, there's about 1,500 confirmed victims of abuse and neglect each year.
Our mission is to provide a single place that's child-friendly and welcoming with really well-trained employees who can help children feel safe enough to describe what their experience has been. We also have an amazing garden on our campus in Salem between our two main buildings. It was designed by our team here. I am guilty. I'm the one that wanted to see something gorgeous and growing throughout the growing season so children and their families could see something beautiful when they arrived on campus for their appointment. And one of the biggest fears that was expressed to me when we were putting this idea together 10 years ago was, Allison, I know you want to plant flowers, but you do understand that weeds are going to grow as well. How are you going to maintain it? And I'm delighted to say that we have an army of volunteers who keep that garden just gorgeous all year round. And so if there is anybody who would be interested in joining a volunteer work crew on a Saturday morning to help clean up our garden, we love that.
So the first stop on our tour, this is just a waiting area for the most part. The kids who come here can play around with some of the toys here. We have some volunteer support for this room as well. We call them play care volunteers. Sometimes we get sets of siblings who will come in together, and so one kid might need some amount of care while another kid is in the middle of their exam as well. The exams that we provide can take a long time. They can take up to 4 hours even, depending on the case, depending on how long it takes the kid to feel comfortable. You'll notice we have a lot of things that are child-sized around here too, so that's another way that kids feel comfortable right from the minute they walk in the door. We also have this kind of on display because this is another way that the community supports us. All of the kids who come through our clinic are given a blanket and a stuffed animal.
We have an amazing group of quilters in the greater Willamette Valley who make quilts that are a little bit larger than crib size, and children are invited to pick a quilt that they'd like to take home. We find out years later that children still have the stuffed animal or the quilt that they picked out when they came to Liberty House, and that meant something to them. Some children are in living situations they just don't have anything to call their own. And so that might be the one thing that they have. And it will remind them of a positive afternoon or a positive morning in their life. So if people are sewers or quilters that, and they love that beautiful craft, contact our community engagement department and they can give you some guidelines.
So we've been in business for 27 years. We've given out nearly 900 of those every single year, and we have never spent a single donor dollar on those. Those have all been community donations.
A child and their caregiver, their non-offending caregiver or parent, can come to Liberty House, be greeted really warmly in a child-friendly environment with soft colors and a neutral surrounding with privacy. and be seen by people who have special training in the medical assessment of abuse or neglect, and also in what we call child forensic interviewing, which is being able to sit with a child in an interview room and ask just a few very open-ended questions designed to help children speak freely about what their experiences have been. And we are neutral and objective. We are not investigators. We are not fishing for certain facts. We create safety so that children can describe what they've experienced.
So this is the forensic interviewing room. There's some really specialized equipment in here too. We actually have a microphone in the ceiling, and we have another microphone here. And then behind this cabinet here, we have some camera equipment. So the reason for this stuff is that the entire interview is recorded. It can be used as evidence in court cases that go to trial or something like that. So very often we see kids who are telling their story for the very first time as well. So this helps them kind of get some of that weight off of their shoulders. The cameras and all of the equipment can also zoom in and into any writing or drawing that's happening on any of the tables. So we have some drawing equipment and writing tools and that kind of thing for the kids as well. So yeah, the camera equipment itself can really make a difference for some of the kids. The interview itself can take a long time, so one of the things that our interviewers will do is they'll actually go out and get a snack sometimes for the kids. That gives them a chance to take a break. It also gives them a chance to talk with some of our community partners, sometimes in law enforcement or social work or something like that. One of the times while that happened, the kid knew that some of this camera equipment was back here, and he actually walked up to it during the break. Didn't want to talk to the forensic interviewer, but knew the cameras were there and said, "Do you want to know what happened to me? Here's what happened." And then he proceeded to disclose his entire story. So all of this equipment in here was actually part of that disclosure process, and it allowed him to get some of the follow-on care that he really needed. All right, so the next stop on our tour is one of the medical offices, which might look a little bit more familiar. So, like I said, this room probably looks a lot more familiar. The actual medical assessment side of things is really just a well child check or a physical. It sometimes is meant to just kind of check things over. Sometimes the kids who are here want to make sure that they're okay too. So we have some really highly trained, really specialized medical professionals who work here. So those would be MDs, nurse practitioners, physician assistants. All of them have special training in what's called child abuse pediatrics. So in the same way that you might have like a pediatric cardiac clinic or something like that, which would specialize in that kind of a field, we have child abuse pediatricians who work here in order to do a lot of really good, really solid, really objective assessment work. One of the things I always like to say is at Liberty House, we're not looking for abuse, we're looking for objective information about what happened. And that's really important because every once in a while we can actually rule things out. So, injuries might be concerning for a different reason, or a kid might need another kind of service rather than the medical services that we provide. So that objectivity, that kind of training, it really comes in handy for the kinds of services that we're able to provide here. We do have one kind of specialized piece of equipment here, and that is this. This is the Cortex Flow. This is a specialized camera that we can use to actually document any injuries if we need to. But it's nothing on here is connected to the internet, so it's not going to go anywhere. But sometimes being able to just document things is really helpful. And again, it can help in some of those cases that go to trial. All right, so the next stop on our tour is actually the observation room. We work alongside people like law enforcement officers, we work alongside DHS in a lot of ways. This is where we would have those on-site partners come in. All of the microphones that I showed you and all of the cameras, those all come into here so that anyone who's actually on-site can actually use some of that equipment as well. They can control everything from here. They can control the volume, control the cameras, they can pan and zoom and make sure that they can actually capture everything. We have a separate entrance for some of our partners so that they can, so that the kids who are here are able to interact mostly with our staff who are trained in things like trauma-informed care, and rather than some of the other staff who might not be, or who might have other kinds of skills that would help them out in other kinds of areas. So some of those law enforcement professionals really appreciate having the separate door, some of the DHS workers as well. So around 2016 or so, we made a change here at Liberty House. So we said we couldn't really just continue to give people the report at the end of their medical exam and their forensic interview and say, bye, we don't have anything else to help you. So in 2016, we started what's called Hope and Wellness Therapy Services. That's our on-site trauma-informed therapy that provides a lot of follow-on care for the kids that we serve. So we're gonna go over there next.
Liberty House was started 27 years ago, actually, in 1999. And in that time period, we've served over 16,000 children. We've served over 12,000 children since I walked in the door in 2013. I hope, have done a better job of helping our community understand ways that we can protect children from abuse or neglect. Abuse and neglect come in all forms: physical, sexual, trafficking, chronic neglect, where children consistently don't have their physical or medical or emotional needs met. That can rise to a level of persistence where they just don't develop a sense of self. So part of our impact, particularly in our therapy program, is to help children feel seen and heard and make sense of their experience. That goes into them helping develop a sense of self. That means they're going to develop a sense of confidence and competence. So if we think about 12,000 more children or 16,000 more children in the community being able to do better in school, that's a pretty big impact. We also help families. We help the parents or caregivers learn how to support their child and learn better family functioning skills. So I think there's a pretty good impact. We also have our whole prevention education training team, and we serve thousands of adults every year to help them learn how to keep their child safe and protect them from situations that could lead to abuse or neglect.
So this is our Hope and Wellness Therapy Department. This is where some of the kids who we serve can come in and get follow-on care. So we provide trauma-focused therapy. That is a little bit more specialized. Again, like all of our other services, it's a little more specialized than just general counseling. So we provide services that actually help kids deal with the after effects of somewhat severe trauma. So those are things like PTSD, anxiety disorders, anything along those lines. If it gets really debilitating for kids and is affecting their day-to-day lives, they can come here and we can provide a lot of that hope and healing that we are kind of known for around here.
Trauma that happens to children over a long period of time, or big trauma that happens that never gets addressed or resolved, can throw our normal reactions into disarray, and in some cases make children feel like everything's dangerous. There is no safe place. And that means I'm not going to trust anybody because I can't tell when that next bad thing is going to happen.
One of the things that's really interesting with trauma is that one of the side effects is it can be difficult for kids to feel like kids. So one of the things we do is we just kind of help them learn how to play too. So there's a lot of fun activities, there's a lot of art and a lot of things to play with. So we'll go ahead and show you some of those too. All right, so this is one of our therapists' offices. So this is where some of the real magic happens around here. This is, again, the follow-on care that we're able to provide. You can see around there's a whole lot of toys and books and various things. These are actually all therapy tools. They're all things where kids can provide, or where we can provide kids with some other forms of communication if they need to. They might build dioramas, they might play in the sand tray, they might do all sorts of different things, drawing, coloring, anything along those lines, just to be able to express some of the things that have happened to them and heal from them as well. One of the things that's interesting about this particular office is all of the sticky hands on the ceiling. Every single one of those is a kid who made some kind of a breakthrough. They did something difficult, they overcame something, they felt like they needed some kind of a reward. So as that award, our therapy director lets them shoot one of the sticky hands onto the ceiling. There's a really funny story where one kid came in here and there was someone who had just a really big breakthrough in his therapy, and he I think shot 5 of them all at the same time. And then the kid that came in next, because everyone knows what those are all about, said, "Wow, someone did something really good today." Again, there's some really, really cool stuff that happens in here. One of the really interesting things is actually this sand tray therapy. This is something that comes up a lot. This is something where kids who are in here can build a diorama, especially some of those kids that might have difficulty expressing in words what happened to them. The sand tray can really help. There was another interesting story where, again, this just goes into how difficult some of these things can be to express, to talk about. The kid built a diorama and he had a little toy that would represent him, and he would take it and he would bury it in the sand, cover it over every time. And that was to kind of like express what he was feeling about himself, about his life before therapy. And over time, you know, with a lot of work, a lot of intentional effort, he was able to kind of overcome that. And as he was building these dioramas, he would start putting himself on top of the sand and then in the houses and, you know, all sorts of different places. So again, it was just really a good visual and a good representation of the kind of healing that we're able to provide here. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna walk you around the room too, because there's a lot of interesting things to see. We have things on all of the hallways. These are tactile things. They're for sensory play so that kids can touch them, they can feel them. They have these things as well. You'll notice that these are spaced out kind of evenly. This is so that someone could like jump between them maybe or something like that. Anything that is able to activate both sides of the body can help with things like flashbacks as well, and they can bring a kid who has experienced some kind of trauma back into themselves so that, again, they just feel more comfortable in their bodies. These are thumbprints of not all, but most of the kids who have graduated from our program, who have essentially said, I feel well enough that I don't need these regular therapy sessions anymore, so I'm going to continue on with my life. So moving on through, we have some other toys on the ground. Again, just a lot of sensory things. We have some more of these things with all kinds of textures on them. And then some actions on the walls as well. Things like getting them to push against the wall, to jump and spin on the other side.
Trauma can be healed when we think about, again, going back to our nervous system. Our nervous systems can learn to calm. There are things that we can do to help us understand that I am safe. And when we, in our program, we have a therapy program called Hope and Wellness. In that program, our therapists specialize in the treatment of trauma, and they help children recognize that although they can think about it, perhaps remember it, and speak about it, they're not living in trauma in the moment. So what trauma can do, another thing trauma can do, is freeze a child's memory in the moment. And so part of the work of trauma healing can be that recognition that this thing that happened to you a month ago or a year ago or 4 years ago, it isn't happening right now. You're safe.
One of the kids who actually came through our therapy program said, after going through therapy, the world doesn't feel so gray anymore. There's more color. And that's just always stuck with me.
For more information about Liberty House Center and to view its full range of services, please visit them online at libertyhousecenter.org. Thank you for joining us today on InSight OnSite. I'm Wendy Brokaw.